असंगोऽहम् 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 पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहम् निरवद्योऽहम् निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहम् प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः माया तत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अन्तर्ज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वभूस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम्।
Hariom, good evening, a very warm welcome to all of you. Please come, let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunakto sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vedvishavahai Shanti 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 Hariom Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, the Omnipresent, to that Supreme Reality, together with Prapatti, Shraddha, and devotion, we offer our humble salutations. To seek His grace, His love, His mercy, His benevolence, His affection, His kindness, His strength. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities in much more enhanced proportion, only and only to have the first-hand experience of Thy true self, the Aparoksha Anubhuthi of Thy true self in our very own hearts. We beseech in You, we plead in You, we beg of You again and again to endow all of us with this rare opportunity of a lifetime. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat.
Yatra
Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 424 on the 6th of May 2025. Swasti Shri Vishwavasu Nama Samvatsara Uttarayana Vasantarutu Vaishakamasa Shukla Paksha Bhaumavasare Naumyatito Magha Nakshatra Dhruvanama Yoge Taitulakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we once again reaffirm our oath, our pledge, our commitment to our everyday action. Naham karta, hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartam. Every action, every thought, every word is ordained by that Paramatma, Satchidananda. Being in that state of mind, I ensure that whatever thought comes to me in my mind is coming from Paramatma, and that eventually becomes a word and thereafter an action. This entire process, I pledge and commit that I am an observer of all this happening through this body, mind and senses. In this way, I shall conduct my daily activity without getting engulfed in the thought that I am the doer, that I am the knower, I am the enjoyer, I am the sufferer. I will distance myself from this so-called person as I, which till date out of ignorance I was referring to. I beseech in the Almighty to give me the power and strength to remain focused in this thought. And I once again plead for the blessings of the Guru Parampara to be established in this reality. Om Tat Sat. Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to all of you. See, now these are extremely deep verses. Now we're taking today Aparoksha Anubhuthi, our sequence number 12. Now, as we studied in the previous discourse, Bhagavan Shankara, he was condemning, saying that how can you consider the body and the Atma to be one? Like in one simple sentence, if we have to say, how can you consider a light in a room, a tube light in a room, which is throwing light to the entire room, that light and the objects of the room to be one and the same? Or how can you consider the electricity of the house, which is flowing in the house, with various gadgets of the house to be one and the same? So now then he starts from verse 24 onwards. After having saying, okay, if this is your ignorance, now I'll tell you what that knowledge is. So from verse 24 he starts, Jnana mityuchyate budhaihi. See, this is the Jnana, where all the budhaihi means the wise, the sadhakas who have progressed substantially in life, where they have understood what is the truth. See, sometimes, in a company, outsiders will not know what is happening. But the ones who are in a company, they know what is exactly happening in the company. Whether this company is suddenly going to, like, the market prices are, market share prices are going to boom, or there could be a crash based on certain developments which have happened in the company, which could be either positive or negative. Who knows that? The insider knows. So now this is all the insider information. Everybody, they don't know. They only know that, yes, I am a person, and I have a family, I have a profession, I have this, I have that. That's all. But okay, then at best what one knows is, yes, I have something called as that awareness within me, that consciousness within me, and they know that there is a soul. Only a limited knowledge. But that soul is different, and this body, mind, senses are different. And I am not this body, mind, senses, but I am that particular soul. Now these are all the higher levels. Now what is another next level to that? I am not only the soul which is in this body, which is called as the Atman, but that Atman is in and through all the living beings in this creation. Right from Brahma till the most humblest creature, it could be a small ant, till that it is that one single consciousness which is running through. See, these are all gradations. So now we have to keep rewiring ourselves. In the sense, unless and until you have established yourself with the initial shlokas, then what will happen is you will not be able to understand or get established in the subsequent shlokas, because this is all going in a sequence. See, if you are traveling and say it's about 8-10 days, and now what you do, you know for which particular occasion what you are wearing. That normally is the case. Like you have gone for a wedding, and in between there is some other puja somewhere, and then in between then you have a holiday, 2-3 days holiday. So you have different clothes, attires for different occasions. Now if you have planned and kept each of them depending on day 1 what I am wearing, day 2 what I am wearing, so the day 1 what you wear comes on the top, and then the day 10 what you are going to wear will come at the bottommost. Now if the day 1 comes at the bottom, you will make a mess of the whole thing. If you want to pack it appropriately, this is the way. Otherwise you can remove all the clothes and again put it back. That's a different thing. But if you want to systematically go, because you also need to know what you're going to wear at which occasion. So accordingly, you knowing that and knowing the date, if you are properly placed, you will be able to take out whatever is needed in the most precise manner. In the same way, here Bhagavan Shankaracharya is going step by step. So as far as possible, ensure that you are getting up to this stage. It is like a algebra sum. There are about 8 steps, let's say. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You cannot miss one single step in between, otherwise your answer will go wrong. In the same way here, you have to understand. So now what did he say? Your first basic wrong notion is you have taken the soul and the body to be one and the same. How can it be? He said that. And now from verse 25 onwards, 24. So we did last time 24, 25 and 26. Today we'll start from 27. So he said, Jnanam ityuchyate budhe means this is how the wise have understood. So 24 briefly, I am that Brahman. Now he's talking about the qualities of Brahman. So that is why I mentioned in my precursor to the class that today will be more on a meditative basis. this particular session. Now, why do I say meditative? So far I told you, you are not this. Now I am trying to tell you what you are. Now that what you are, that description is something which the Shastras themselves say that it is very difficult to understand with your mind or with your perceptions. So then what do? I have to just surrender and listen. Let it do whatever it needs to do in my subconscious mind. Don't get haggled. Don't feel, what is this? What am I trying to even understand, or I'm trying to even make an attempt? Is it something which is not in the right direction? Let these doubts not come to you. Just be. If that divine supreme reality has brought you to this place, means it is doing something with you. That much confidence, faith and trust you have to have. So relax and understand whatever goes into your mind without any repercussions, and then see how magic happens over a period of time. And all this happens only by faith and trust. Okay, so what did he say? I am that Brahman which is always tranquil and equanimous and is of the nature of Sat Chit Ananda. I am not this body which is unreal. Yes, yesterday that person was there, and today you ask, where is he? He's gone. Already cremated. I can't get to see anything of that person now. Even the bones, ashes, everything are gone. Unreal. That is that unreal nature of this so-called body and mind senses. So he says, so the wise understand this. What is the nature of that true self? And they get established in that true self. Because this is one day or the other, it's going to go. Then in verse 25 he says, again, I am the formless. We have a form that doesn't have a form. Without any blemish. We have so many negative repercussions on us. He says, no blemishing. And it is undecaying. This body, just like food or any a fruit, it has a particular time frame. Beyond that, it starts decaying. In the same way, this body, what is keeping us alive is that prana. Prana is like that. It has kept, as you keep some foodstuff in a fridge, so this prana is working on those lines. It is trying to hold this body from decaying. Every minute, it is fighting against nature to keep this body from decaying. So he says that soul is the undecaying. And then again you say, I am not the body, which is unreal, and this is the wise who call it as real knowledge. That is, Naham Deho, I am not the body. Yasadrupaha jnanam ityucchate budaihi. Then in 26, I am devoid of all diseases. What a nice thing to have. You cannot get disease. That is my true nature. Now see, if you see many words over here, it is so fascinating and so alluring, so tempting. What you can see is, oh, I thought I was this person where anytime I can be struck with a disease. But here I see my true nature is something which there is no disease at all. Why not opt for it? So what we're getting offer is not where we have to even think for a fraction of a second and choose, shall I take this or shall I take that? If somebody tells you, okay, we are giving you a free holiday, do you want to go to Dubai or you want to go to Singapore? Now you may think, which is good, and you will take some time and then you will give an answer. But here it is, you want something where you have a disease-free body. So he says, I am devoid of all diseases. without any modification, all pervading. See the power. Like now, if we have to go from here to another place, we see on the Google Maps how long it is going to take. Oh my God, it's going to take 1 hour. And then again, if you're stuck in the traffic, it will take even more than that. But you are all pervading. You don't have to go anywhere because you are there everywhere. So this way, this body is unreal, and what we call is the real knowledge is about the qualities which we just now understood, and that is what the wise understand to be our true self. So now we go to verse 27. So I'll be taking you through each and every word where you allow that to sink in your mind. You just compare for yourself what is that quality which the text is talking about, and what am I? So then you will see that there is a huge disparity. You can't even compare between those two. That will be the kind of a disparity you will see in our ignorance and knowledge. Okay. Come, we'll now go to verse 27. We offer our prayers. The first shloka. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. After having offered our salutations and prayers, after having sought blessings, we now move on to verse number 27. Nirguno nishkriyo nityo nityamukto hamachyutaha naham deho hyasadrupaha jnanamityuchyate budhaihi. I'll keep this slide on so that you all can follow the word. Okay, now see here what they are trying to tell us is nirgunaha, without attributes. Now this indicates that the self, that Atman, is not limited or defined by any qualities. Now this needs a bit of understanding. Meaning, what quality do I have? Let's compare. Yes, I am governed by the qualities of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. By Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Which means now Sattva gives me that noble, kind, packed with the knowledge, these kind of good qualities. Rajas gives you that passion. I want to do this. I want to go there. I want to enjoy this. That kind of a mode always. It does not allow you to rest. Now, then Tamas is there, which is inert. Always in a sluggish manner. Whenever you ask that person, he says, no, I don't have any mood now. Dullness, inertness, and which is averse to sattva, in a way, if you can understand. So, what is the difference? Now, this body, mind, senses, they are all governed by sattva, rajas and tamas, trigunas, whereas this self, Atma, is nirgunaha. It is beyond these three gunas. What do I do then? Now, if I have to transcend, I have to go above the sattva guna. What is that which is pulling me? All the desires which I had in the past, and those desires which I was fulfilling from time to time, they again go back into my mind, into the Karan Sharir, from the Sukshma Sharir, as a Vasana, a tendency. And those tendencies erupt from time to time with a thought to enjoy that particular activity or that desire again and again. Evam vritti samskara chakram aharnisham avartamanam. This vritti, the thoughts, samskara chakram, they go on like a wheel, aharnisham, again and again, avartamanam, all the time. So here this sadhak, he understands. Now if I am getting a thought, which I was doing for several years, right from my childhood or from my teenage, I have cultivated certain habits. And now why should I change? If you want to transcend, go to the higher self, you have to reach the stage of nirgunaha. There are some things which we need to only understand. There are some things where we need to work towards to. Now this is one. Sattva, Rajas, nirgunaha is where, yes, I have attributes. The divine Atman doesn't have attributes and I can work towards it. So here you have to transcend from the vasanas which are there embedded in you. Now, nishkriyaha, it is that Atman is without any activity. Now you as a person, you are active, your mind is constantly giving you thoughts, ideas. It is getting late, we need to start, and then your mouth is in action, and then your legs are in action, your hands are in action. Every part of your body is engaged in action. But this is something which your true nature. Now keep differentiating. You know where you're going with these thoughts. This is not just understanding this knowledge. You have to compare, get the right understanding. Then at some point there will be a situation where you get that experience. So the self is not engaged in any activity or change. So anything which is under activity is the anatma, and that which is not under any activity, that is atma. Like an example I gave you, there's a tube light in a room. So tube light does not do any activity. There may be 100 people exercising or dancing or listening to a lecture or doing an experiment. All of them are in activity, but that light which is pervading the whole auditorium is not doing any activity. So this Atman within you is like that. Then Nityaha, it is eternal. It has got no beginning or end. Like a person, yes, he is born on so and so day. And there is some day where you will see that the person is no more. So which means this jiva, what we are so-called jiva we are talking about, is anityaha. At some point it is going to go away. It has an end. But your true nature is that which does not have an end. So this fear of death is gone over here. Nitya muktaha, it is perpetually free. In the sense, now you are bound. We as a jiva, we are bound by the cycles of birth and death. But this Atman, jiva means who? Your sukshma sharira and karana sharira, which goes to the next life. Body is dead. When the jiva goes away here, body is buried, body is cremated. All that is done over here. But immediately the sukshma sharira and the karana sharira, they get into the yatana sharira, what we so call, and they start their journey towards another loka. And then finally, after they are allotted a birth, they come back in the body of that new jiva, what it has been designed to get or designated to get. So your so-called jiva, what you thought so far, you are anityaha, whereas here it is nitya muktaha, you are always free. And achyutaha, nothing can destroy you. Your true nature again, which is like, as they say, no fire can burn you, no wind can blow you off, no water can drown you. So you are indestructible, unshakable. That means you are perfectly secure. Otherwise, you don't know what could happen to you at any point of time. Naham deho, I am not the body. Yasadrupaha, which is unreal. Jnanam ityuchyate budaihi. This is declared by the wise as that which is known through knowledge. The wise identify this transcendental self with that direct knowledge, jnana, which they are getting. And this jnana is beyond mere sensory perception and intellectual speculation. So, this is the overall understanding of this particular verse. Now, let's get a context. So, the transcendence of all the attributes and actions, what we so far saw. So, this particular verse emphasizes that the true self is beyond the limitations of the material world, which we just now saw. Like, as it transcends the qualities of gunas. Gunas are the sattva, rajas, tamas, and also the activities. Whatever activity you are doing a kamya karma, nishkamya karma, nishiddha karma. It transcends all your activities. In other words, the self is not defined by what we commonly see or experience. Its nature is beyond physical descriptions and the dynamic process of the world. See, these are certain pointers which can take you over there. They're just pointers. They take you in that particular direction, but they will not make you reach the destination. This is the point which I want to make. So just understand this. My true nature is something. First you are trying to say that I am not this, I'm not this, I'm not this. And what could be my true nature? These are the qualities which I am having. Now, eternality and freedom. When the verse describes the self as eternal and perpetually free, it implies that this essence is unchanging. My essence is unchanging and it exists independently. It is not dependent on anything. So liberation, moksha, is not something to be achieved at some other point of time. They say it is that intrinsic nature of my true self. Now, if I want to eat something sweet, sometimes you say, I don't know, I just want to eat something sweet. Give me something sweet. And let's say to a person you go and give khajur. Or take this fruit, you say. And he says, I don't know, I want something sweet. You say that sweetness is in this fruit. Have it. You will say, really? It doesn't look like anything near sweetness. You put it in your mouth and then you will see, wow, it is there, an inherent property. So in the same way, this moksha is an inherent property of this jiva. So by stating I am not the body, this text clarifies that the identity of a jiva is not limited to the physical form. The body is transient and is of course subject to decay and withering away, but the self remains constant and indestructible. So this way, what one has to understand is obtained by those external observations. the world can be obtained from external observations and perceptions. But this jnana cannot be understood on those lines. These are some pointers, just try to allow them to get into your mind. Okay, now we'll go to verse 28. By the way, we are all pursuing Vedanta. Now somebody can ask us, why we do Vedanta? What do we get out of doing Vedanta? And morning when I was doing my Sukshma Vayam today, so now we are doing more in a meditative state, because the body movements will happen automatically. It's all in the subconscious mind. What comes next, and breathing, physical movement, all that is happening. So how are you doing this now? I am that consciousness watching this body exercise. I am that consciousness wherein the thoughts are crossing the mind in this body. I am the consciousness where the senses are active in this body. So when you are in that state of consciousness, a thought came to me, okay, give an elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is like, in elevator, how much time it takes. It may take anywhere between 1 minute to 3 minutes, depending on the floor and the stoppages or whatever it is. So in that 1 or 2 minutes, you have to tell what Vedanta is. So a really good thought came to my mind, and I thought I should share with you. So after I came back, I wrote it. See how much sense it makes to you. If you want to get rid of worries, anxieties, fear, delusion, anger, jealousy all at once, then Vedanta is for you. Now you are telling somebody who asks you a question, how will all these which are worrying me for years and ages go at once? That person asks you a question. Then you say, just like all the good and bad, happy and sad of the dream no more worry you or excite you on waking up. In the same way, all the worries, anxieties, fear, anger of the waking state go off in a jiffy on awakening to the higher state of consciousness. I think we must have reached our floor by now, whatever floor you are. And then you can end saying, moksha, salvation is complementary, by the way. Immediately you get this. You are no more fearful, you are no more worrisome, no more troubles can affect you, because you have transcended from the state of this anatma. Now in all these shlokas, why I am saying this is, in these shlokas you have to transcend. Whenever the quality of the divine, the Atman or the Paramatma is coming, you should know where I am and where I should go. Every stage be in that state of meditation. So this is the elevator pitch for why one should do Vedanta. Don't look at moksha or liberation. That is complementary. Anyway, it is going to come to you. And I put 2 more words at the end. Chill, bro. No, these are colloquial words. Chill and bro. So if you have to talk to a youngster, this will make sense. Okay. Now we go to verse 28. Nirmalo nischalo nantaha Shuddho hamajaro maraha Naham deho hyasadrupaha Jnanamityucchate budhaihi. Okay, I'll do this shloka. Anyway, I'm going to tell you the word in any which case. Okay. Now, here, what does this say now? Nirmalaha, free from impurity or stain, or any kind of a distortion, because there is no sort of ignorance or illusion for the Atman. Now say if my shirt is dirty, what is that which made my shirt dirty? There is something which is other than the shirt which has gone onto the shirt which I am wearing. Then it became dirty. But if there is only one thing where this Atman, this consciousness is one and only one in the entire universe, what is there to make it dirty? There are no two things. So nirmalaha. And then nishchalaha. Nishchala means steady. It doesn't move. And no change, no fluctuation. Reason is, if I as a person, I say I'm moving because I'm sitting here now. If I move from here to somewhere else, I say I have moved. Okay. Now if I'm everywhere, where can you move? So that is nishchalaha, unmoving, steady. It has pervaded the entire place. You can't move. Like sometimes, you are seated in a particular place, and like say it is a 3-seater, and all the 3 people in that 3-seater are quite hefty, and a 4th person comes and he says move. You will say, where to move? There is no space. I can't move. Both sides. On the one side, extreme end is whatever is that bus or train or whatever is that, that's the end. And the other side you have 2 hefty people sitting. Where to move? So this consciousness has pervaded the entire universe. Then antaha. Antaha means it is without an end. Because there is no boundary, no limitations, no beginning, either in desha or kala, in terms of time or in space, there is no boundary for it. It has been there eternally. And as we just now saw, nishchalaha, it is pervaded everywhere, so it is without an end, meaning it doesn't have a beginning also. Then shuddhoham, pure. It is pure in the sense it is spoken in terms of ignorance. There is no ignorance. We are impure because we are enveloped by ignorance. This is pure. It is enveloped by sheer knowledge. That is its nature. Now Sat Chit Ananda, I'll give you another beautiful way of understanding it. Sat is that which does not change. For Sat, it is eternal, it does not change. It is Nishkriya, what we say. Chit is that which is not inert. And Ananda is that which is neither joy nor sorrow. That is Ananda. We are all in the state of what? Joy and sorrow, joy and sorrow. But raise our standards to Ananda, where you transcend joy and sorrow and you become one with that bliss. So here in this particular verse, they say now, Shuddhoham, I am pure. Then Ajaraha, meaning it does not decay or it does not get old. My God, it does not get old. Anti-aging. Everybody wants in the world now. Nobody wants to age in this world. See, Ajaraha. You can meditate on this one quality is enough. Ajaraha, I am not going to age. And this self Atman does not age. Nor does it decay over a period of time. Anything which we have slowly decays. Slowly. Some rapid, some medium space, some very slowly. So this Atman, your true self, is undecaying. Ajaraha, Amaraha, immortal. It does not die. It's beyond the cycle of birth and death. See, what all we want, most of it is coming here. And then it says, Naham Deho, I am not this body, which I thought so far because of ignorance. Yasadrupaha, because that is going to be perishable. Why should I take something which is perishable? If we buy something, we say, what is the expiry date? Now, if they say there is no expiry and there is something else which has got expiry, which one will you take? Obviously, give me the one which is without expiry and no additives. Wow. I said, that's a wonderful thing which I can go for a deal. So, Yasadrupaha. I am not this body which decays. Jnanamityuchyate budhaihi. This is called knowledge of the wise. And they have discriminated with their Viveka Shakti. Okay, I know so far I was thinking I am this person who is so and so by gender, so and so by complexion, so and so by height, weight. All this I thought, no. These are all my instruments. I am that awareness which is using this body, this mind. As I gave an easy understandable thing is, just like we use our car, just like we use our laptop. This is my laptop, but I am not the laptop. That way. This is my body, but I am not the body. This is my mind, but I am not the mind. One seeker, devotee, he goes to a sadhu and he tells him, Maharaj, I am going through a lot of misery in my life. And that Maharaj says, I am not interested. This person gets a shock of his life. He says, what a person you are. You are in those orange robes and you need to be so kind and so helpful. You says, I am not interested. And then the Maharaj says, I am not interested in your miseries. I am interested in you. See, this immediately creates a psychological space between our true self and the miseries which are in our mind. We are not the miseries. The miseries belong to the mind. You just know that you are not the mind, and whatever is coming into the mind belongs to the mind. That's all. So, now if we say this unchanging eternal self, as they have now described as that pure, unmoving, with that infinite qualities, now you have to segregate that from the realm of material objects and that egoistic identity which we have created. And then beyond body and mortality, this again gives that Vedantic insight that we are not this body, which has got a perishable form, Shadrupaha, which is unchanging, which is subject to delay, which is aging and subject to delay. So this real knowledge, Jnanam, is the direct intuitive realization that I am not the body, I am that eternal pure self. See, these are the great understanding what we need to gain. Just allow that, I thought. Many times, we come to know the truth of something over a period of time. You should, as you patiently listen to it, and then you say, okay, now I understood what that person is. I'll bear this in mind. Next time I deal with that person, I bear this in mind. So in the same way, you know about yourself, what I thought I was. But now I understand that, I am somebody par excellence. But only thing is I need to get established in it. Like there's another incident which they quote. One person who was in his mid-30s, now he's not that well-to-do and he doesn't have a job. So there are some rescue centers. This is about a story in the US. So rescue shelter homes. So he's staying in the shelter home. the government takes care so that they don't allow these people to come on to the roads to beg. One day an advocate goes to this person and he says, "Congratulations, young man, your uncle has left you $1 billion." Wow, $1 billion, roughly 8,000 crores. He says, "Here are the papers, take." Now, let's say that person got the folder. He said, "So look, these are all the papers which are assigned in your name. You are the proud owner of this $1 billion. Now he got to know I am the owner of this $1 billion. But will that alone take him out of misery? His financial crunch? No. He has to know where all that money is, in which bank it is there, or in which trust it is there, or in which property it is there. So he has to that way do that Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and get established in that. Unless and until he goes to the bank and he takes a checkbook from them or he draws money from the bank, he will not get anything to his hand. So just by knowing we will not get anything. You have to work towards it. And our working towards it over here is, I have understood that I am not this true. This is not my true nature. Just like you go to the bank and draw the money, here you have to go to that true self and establish yourself over there. And what is the only way which you can test yourself, how much you have established in the true self? Just like you go to a bank. Now let's say it is in Canara Bank. And then if you go to Syndicate Bank, what will you do? You will not get anything. You have to go to the right place. So in the same way now here, you have to be in the right place and do the right things. And then eventually, if nobody, you had a issue, maybe you were having some tea somewhere outside and you had some small money to be paid and that fellow is troubling you. Now will that trouble affect you anymore? No thought of any money troubles or financial troubles to that person who now got to know his uncle has left him a hefty amount by will. In the same way, when we know our true self and when we also know what is not our true self, nothing should disturb you in this world. That is one very important thing. Observe. And also desires also will not come. Yeah, I need to enjoy this, I need to get this. These two things, major things, you keep monitoring. I need to go there, I need to eat that, I need to experience that, I need to fetch that. All that will slowly, because you have everything already. That is the point over here. Okay, now come, let's go to verse number 29. Swadehe shobhanam santam Purushakyam cha sammatam kim murkha shunyamatmanam dehatitam karoshi boho. I think by this time Shankaracharya is a little disturbed. He likes in between telling, hey moodaha, hey fool, or hey ignorant one. Here and there you see. That means, he's so much concerned about us. What you people are doing here? Can't you understand? I'm trying to tell you so many times, so many things, but you all are not paying any attention. So in that way, out of that compassion, he says, what is the verse here? Swadehe. He says, Swadehe, in your own body, in one's own body. Shobhanam, this auspicious, beautiful, attractive, glorious. What is this? Atman. Now this Santaha, I am going the direct translation. this such attractive, glorious, wise, all this is there. Now, Santa means the realized ones. Purushakyam. They call it as the Purusha. That Atman, what is there in you, as per the Sankhya philosophy, they call it as Purusha. Like there is a person at home, they call him by a nickname. Some people they call baby. Oh, baby means what? You may be thinking that there's some 1 or 2 year old. No, she is 45 now, baby. That's her nickname. In office you go, they'll be calling madam so and so. So in Sankhya Yoga it is known as Purusha. In Vedanta it is known as Atman. So this Purusha, the supreme being or that true self, and then cha and samatam, that same equanimity, that undifferentiated consciousness, which I just now explained, it is different bodies do not have different consciousness. We all have the same consciousness. There is only one consciousness. Samatam, the wise who have understood. Kim, why murkha? Kim murkha means why, oh fool. Shunyam, nothingness or that emptiness. Atmanam, that self. Deha atitam, which is beyond the body. That self is beyond the body. Karo shiboho. Why do you make that? Regard that. Boho, he says, oh, that way. Oh, that's expressive. So in this way, in one's own body, now if you have to put everything together, it starts as, oh fool, oh ignorant one. In one's own body, the wise perceive that beautiful, auspicious presence of that self or that Atman, which is known as Purusha, which is equanimous and ever present. So now you understand? You are not only this person, that awareness which is within you, but you are that awareness which is also extended all around you. It's ever present and equanimous. So this is it's also accepted by the Shrutis, the Upanishads. But why, oh fool, do you imagine the self which is beyond the body to be void? Why are you calling it as non-existent or shunya? Because there are some categories of understanding where they say, no, there is nothing. It's all shunya, it is void. So he's trying to cover that aspect over here. That Purusha is there, that auspicious, beautiful, elegant, virtuous Jiva which is there in you. Forget about your body. You have a body which is not going to age, which is not going to decay, which is not going to have any diseases. Your true body is that. You have unnecessarily mistaken yourself to this body. No. Then in that thought process, now here Shankaracharya says, be in that state. Don't get disheartened. So the self is not the body, which we have understood now. Atman is different, this body mind is different. But it appears to dwell in the body. Yes, it is staying in this body, no doubt. Shining through the intellect and heart. As far as that Atman is there, Jiva is there, I am able to talk, I am able to think, I am able to express. So that is known as the shining. Okay. So the wise recognize that Atman is not something void or nothing. It is the ground of all knowing. Just because I have got that, just because I am having that Atman or that prana within me, I am able to function moment to moment. So they say the light by which everything is known. So if in this scenario, if you call that Atman as a grave error, kim murkhaha, how can you call this? Because it is denying the very awareness by which even voidness could not be perceived. Like as they say, now you are looking at the sun, and suddenly you see that there is a cloud which comes in between, and then the person standing next to you says, "Where is the sun?" You are able to see that cloud only because of the sun. If that sun was not there, you could not see that cloud which is blocking the sun. So in the same way, even this ignorance, to have this ignorance, it is because of that Atman, the light of the Atman, we are able to understand that. So to summarize, the wise see that radiance and divinity in the self that appears within this body, not as a person, but as consciousness itself. Whereas what the ignorant do? They mistake this body, this formless sharira. They look for emptiness or something known as yasadrupaha, non-being. That is the error as per the fundamental Vedanta. Okay. Now here, the same, more or less you can relate this story here. Sage Yajnavalkya, a very great sage. He had two wives, Maitreyi and Katyayini. Now this comes from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is the largest Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka. Now, what they say is, he was a realized saint. He had an ashram, and both his wives used to assist him in running the ashram. Several teachers were already trained in the ashram, and it was like one of the top-notch unis of the world, what we call, the league universities of the world. So it was in that range. Now here Yajnavalkya, one day, he feels that I should now take sannyas. So far I am in Grahastha ashram, and then I also at some stage I was slowly coming out Vanaprastha, but now let me take complete sannyas. So he calls both his wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi, and he says, "Look, both of you have served me to your best, and because of you there are thousands of students who are graduating every year from this ashram, and so many teachers, professors are here who can take the education process forward. So now he says, I am planning to take sannyas, so I will divide whatever I have with me into two halves and give it to you. I want your permission so that I can take sannyas." Now, Katyayani was a very loving, a traditional wife. But Maitreyi was different. She was deeply philosophical and contemplative. See, everybody need not be the same, no? Now, when both of them got to understand, I said, okay, I'm going to divide and we both are going to get two half portions each. Okay. Now, Katyayani accepted this offer. He says, okay, now that you have decided, you are my Swami, so whatever you decide for me, I am accepting it. I cannot come in the way of your sannyas, because what is there as between husband and wife, all of us, our one and only goal in the life of a couple would be that we should aid each other in reaching or attaining salvation. I help you, you help me. Both of us should mutually help. So she says, yes, now you are going on this mark. And tomorrow, that also promotes that we also could take it at some point of time. And that time the age gap between the husband and wife was more than 10 years. A very common, sometimes it could be more than 15-20 years also. So taking the age factor, she says, okay. Katyayani accepts. But Maitreyi did not accept immediately. See, she is that contemplative, intellectual type. She starts thinking, oh, if my Swami, my husband Yajnavalkya is trying to take sannyas, meaning there is something more to what he was doing here. So she was curious, and of course she was also very sincere in her understanding and in her inquiry. She says, Swami, I would like to ask you a question. And she goes and tells sage Yajnavalkya, he asks a question. If all this wealth which you are going to give me, can it make me immortal? Immortal is Amara. Yajnavalkya honestly said, no. Wealth cannot make you immortal. It can give you some comfort, perhaps not the eternal life or even not true fulfillment. So then she immediately said, then what use is this wealth to me? Tell me, what will I do with this money which is not going to make me immortal? Because I understand from you that you are taking sannyas to become immortal. And here we get the money from you, and if we are going to not become immortal, then what is the use of this money? So then Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, you are very dear to me, Maitreyi, and now what question you are asking is something very deep. So he says, now I'm going to answer why this happened. So he says, listen carefully. And then he tells that I'm translating the Sanskrit shloka into English. It says, a husband is not dear for the sake of the husband, but for the sake of the Atman. And he continues, a wife is not dear for her own sake, but for the sake of the self. And it again goes on. Children, wealth, fame, even gods, all are dear only because of that Atman. Because eventually there is only one Atman which pervades the entire universe. So, and he declares, this self is to be seen, heard about, which we are doing Shravana, reflected upon, Manana, and meditated upon, that is Nididhyasana. So when this self is seen, all is known. And further he says, when this self is realized, when you get to know, I am merged now, duality ceases. Duality means two. There are no two. There is no other. No separate knower and known. Now see, these are all pointers for that state of samadhi. Every word is coming from a sage of the highest order. When that self is realized, duality ceases. There is no other. That means there is no separate knower and known. All becomes one in that supreme knowledge. And this shloka it is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Atma vare drashtavyaha, shrotravyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. So which means that Atma must be seen, heard, reflected upon and meditated upon. So he finally concludes, only knowledge of the self, not your possessions, not your rituals, not your relations lead to immortality. Only knowledge can take you to immortality. Now you decide what you want. Now Maitreyi listens to all this. See, intellectual people, they are very good in taking decisions because they have analyzed now. What all he's saying, she has analyzed. And after listening quietly, she contemplates deeply while she is listening. So along with Shravana, Manana is happening, she is just left in awe. As the teaching dissolves the boundaries of her own self, my God, what is this? And she says, I don't want this. I want immortality. But Katyayani, on the other hand, she was a simple, ordinary woman without much of contemplative strength. She accepts that material wealth. So this story talks of renunciation and knowledge on one hand, and on the other hand it talks of worldly fulfillment. So this way. We have to now decide. There are many times we see that you're making our effort but we are not able to understand. Don't worry at all. Just be at it. Any point of time, there is a situation in your life, where you can hold your goal of self-realization with top priority, immediately grab that option. Don't worry, nobody in this world can ever please you. They may please you today, but some other day they are going to give you dukkha. Keep that self-realization as your topmost priority, then only you can realize. Now, to make you understand in terms of this Aparoksha Anubhuti, imagine, a man walks into a pitch dark room. It's absolutely dark. He sees nothing because it's completely dark. He sees nothing, he hears nothing, and then he concludes there is nothing here. But in between there was a lightning and a spark. It flashes a very brief light into the room. Suddenly he could see that there is a table, there is a chair, there is a mirror, there is a cot. And then he realizes it was not that there was nothing, just that there was no light to see it. So far clear? So likewise, people say this self, where is it? I'm not able to get anything. Because their minds are filled with the distractions. Anywhere you can remove these distractions. How do you remove distractions? Control on desires. How do you put a control on desires? Control on the vasanas. Because vasanas are generating desires. And desires are generating distractions. So the root are these vasanas, the strong habits which we have cultivated. And many come from our past lives. Not that everything we have cultivated in this life. So any time you get a chance to cut off a vasana, put your best at it. So then he says, now when you are in that deep meditation, what has happened is you have made a small attempt and then you say, I can see nothing. Just like as this person said, there is nothing in this room. Now you sit for a few minutes and there is nothing. But now, unless and until you sit for some more longer hours, and when there is that flash of lightning coming, immediately you will see that yes, there is something. So allow yourself, don't get disheartened, be in that state where there is no knower and there is no known. I'll take up the last time meditation again once again. That's a perfect understanding of trying to be in that state of consciousness. Otherwise, we are always in the state of reflected consciousness. Okay, so this we will get to understand today. Okay, and we'll move forward now. So it's already 7:14. Come. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. We are going to learn about two Divyanama today, Sugoshaha and Sukhadaha. Let's first read the verse. Verse number 49. Suvratas sumukas sukshmaha sugoshas sukadas suhrata manoharo jitakrodo virabahur vidaranaha. What is the meaning of Sugoshaha? 458. Inverted comma, of auspicious sound. This is the name of the conch that Krishna blew in the opening of the Mahabharata war. The sound of Vishnu is the essence of all Vedas, as all the four Vedas have come from him, the Supreme. Hence the term of auspicious sound. Sugoshaha. 459 Sukhadaha. One who confers happiness. This is one meaning. It can also mean in Sanskrit one who is the destroyer of joy. Da means to destroy. Here, of course, it means that one who gives joy to his devotees and takes away joy from those who are undivine. So he is sukhadaha, who gives to the deserving and who takes away from the undeserving. To such a mighty Almighty, we offer our humble salutation, seek His grace, mercy, blessings. Shri Krishna. Now, Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. To the Lord of Health, we offer our humble salutations. Pray to Him that He grants us adequate health till we are able to unify ourselves in this divine knowledge. Come. Now here, before we start, I'll just give a dialogue between a teacher and a student. Now these are all, you don't know which technique works for us, but let's make an attempt. Now what this dialogue is? A wise sage was, once teaching a young seeker, a sadhak. I am this body, this face, this person. And he was standing in front of a mirror. And he tells the teacher, look, he shows his body, he says this face, this person. I can see myself in the mirror also. Now this sage took that sadhak to a quiet place, rather a hall, where there was a large mirror, huge mirror, and he said, look into the mirror. What do you see? And that sadhak replied, I see myself, my body, my face, what I just now told you. Now this sage smiled and he said, that is not yourself, that is only your reflection. See, so far we have understood. Immediately what you say, that is me. But he says, no, it is not yourself, it is your reflection. It changes with age, with lighting. Now he goes deeper. Even your emotions, your real self is the one watching this reflection. Now the sadhaki paused, and then when the sage asked, "Tell me, when the mirror is gone, do you vanish?" That sadhak says, "No, I still exist." Then the sage said, "To understand this, what you need to know is the mirror is like the body. It shows a form. But the one who is aware of all forms, who never changes, who says, 'I,' even when body, age and mood change, that is the real you. That is the true self." This needs repetition. So understand, the mirror is like the body, which shows you a form. Whichever comes in front of it, it shows the form. But the one who is aware of all forms, who never changes, who says, "I," inverted comma, even when this body, age and mood change, that is the real you. That is your true self. Now see, when somebody shows a photograph where you are a 5-year-old boy or a girl, don't you say, "This is me"? And then in college you say, "This is me." And then while getting married you say, "This is me." And now you show a photograph which maybe you are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you say, "This is me." Now here he says that I, who says that I, even when body, age and your mood, emotions, everything change, you still say I. Our only ignorance is we say I with the thought of aham bhava, that is a small I. But here the Shankaracharya says that is cross over the aham bhava, meaning cross over the mind, and you will land in that true self, which is that Atman. So just like the reflection in the mirror is not the real person, the body is not the real self. So the I, inverted comma, we keep referring to is not gross, not material, it is pure awareness, the capital I. So how can that which is subtle and supreme ever become gross and embodied? So it's only ignorance that causes this mix-up, like confusing the shadow for the real being. So what is the takeaway here? When you say I, pause and reflect. Are you speaking as the changing body or as the unchanging witness? That true self which is beyond all forms. Now that you need to decide from time to time as you are in your state of Jiva Bhava or the Aham Bhava, and you take a call for that. Now there's one more thing which I can share here is a common ignorant person, when he uses the word I, he means this body, this person who has this mind, who has got a set of desires, emotions and aspirations. So this person as a jiva, he says I. But when an ignorant person becomes a jnani, he becomes realized. And when that person says I, he says in two ways. He may be saying I, but he is saying with two different meanings. So the first I is, he is referring to the body, the jiva. And sometimes he keeps saying the same word I, but there he is referring to the Atman. So now you be careful, and you have to transcend from the ignorant to the realized, where you have to use two eyes, and which you know. And there's a beautiful story which I have mentioned earlier. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is suffering with that throat cancer, and his assistant, he comes in the morning and he tells him, Maharaj, how are you today? And he says, oh, it's paining so much. I can't even swallow my saliva. To that extent it is paining. But then his name is Hari Maharaj, his assistant. Hari Maharaj says, Swamiji, you are looking so much in bliss. So then Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he laughs and he says, you caught me right. I am in bliss. Now just now he said I am in pain. And now he's saying I am in bliss. Earlier when he said I am in pain, he mentioned to the small I, which is the Aham Bhava, referring to the body. But later on when he said I see you in bliss, so that is, he was in the state of Atman, established in that realized state. I am not this body, I am that Atman. So he says, yes, I am in bliss. So you have to use continuously, you be watchful and use this I in two manners. You have to use, otherwise you can't function in this world. So know these subtle differences and start transcending. Unless and until you transcend, you will not reach where you need to reach. You will be there only. So take care. Okay. Now, I'll take that brief meditation last time what we did. I'll explain. Primarily, I'll explain to you all what it means. It's a very powerful technique of meditation. Now, knowing is knower is not an objective knowledge. Now, what are we trying to achieve? We are trying to achieve that state of Chaitanyam, where there is no Triputi, there is no knower, there is no known, and there is no knowledge. That is Triputi. Where there is no Bhokta, no Bhojya, nor Bhojanam. Meaning there is no one who is enjoying, nor there is any object which is being enjoyed, or there is a process of enjoyment. That way. Now, when you say knowing is knower, you have to make it subjective. Anything which you can say this is not consciousness. Na idam chaitanyam. Na idam, only that is chaitanyam. Not this means chaitanyam. So when you are looking at yourself, you are going on within in your mind that this is pure consciousness, this is pure consciousness. So see where the very word this is pure consciousness. How can it be pure consciousness? Not this, only is consciousness. So I move forward. When you know the knower, you are not aware of an object. You are aware of yourself. Who is the object there? Yourself. Because you are aware of that. It is only known as self-awareness. When we say no awareness, it is a reflection of that consciousness. Because you are aware of that self-awareness within. It is the acknowledgement, recognition that I know, I am. So, the knower knows. Who is this now I am? The knower. He knows. The knower is noticing that it knows. And the knower is noticing that it is aware, not through words. Awareness is without words. Know the very knowing and become aware of awareness. Become. Don't know, become. So which means what? There is nothing where you can say this. Everything only is. These are pointers. Try to meditate on these lines. I'll take it again. Not to worry. Because this is the final crux of attaining that state of samadhi. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hariom Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, together with obeisance, we offer today's Gnana Yajna at your lotus feet to seek your grace, mercy and blessings. Naham karta hari preranaya hari prityartam Shri Krishna arpanamastu idam namama. Om Tat Sat. Hariom everybody. I hope you all are slowly gliding upwards. Keep your intentions strong and clear. There is no other option here. Make it that way in your life. Everything and everything is only centered upon self-realization. And that's when you can achieve what you want to achieve. But if you treat it with options, then self-realization will also treat you as an option. It may say, I won't guarantee you anything. Krishna Arpanamastu.
सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम्